The air is thick with the scent of pine and earth as you step onto the creaking porch of the old cabin. Nestled deep within the woods, it has stood long before your arrival, a patchwork of warm wood and moss-covered stones. Twilight paints the world in deep blues and purples, and you can hear the distant rustle of leaves as a gentle breeze whispers through the trees. You take a deep breath, the coolness invigorating, filling your lungs with the promise of solitude. The cabin has been in your family for generations, a retreat from the chaos of the outside world. You remember summers spent here as a child, laughter echoing off the walls, but those memories now seem like remnants of another life. You shake off the chill that prickles your skin, telling yourself you're here to reconnect with that joyous past, to find solace in the embrace of nature. Inside, the air is musty, the kind of scent that speaks of long-held secrets. Dust motes float lazily in the fading light. You set down your bags in the small living room, where the worn-out couch and a single armchair face a stone fireplace. You consider lighting a fire, but the wood stacked in the corner looks damp. With a resigned sigh, you leave it be and explore your surroundings, an old habit from those carefree days. As you wander through the cabin, you notice how it feels smaller than you remember, each room a slight distortion of its past self. The kitchen is cluttered but nostalgic, filled with faded dishes and a sturdy oak table that holds the marks of many meals shared. You run your fingertips over the table surface, feeling the coarse texture under your skin. The sound of a branch scraping against the roof interrupts your thoughts, like a warning whisper carried by the wind. You flinch, but quickly dismiss it, your mind gliding back to warmer memories. Later, as twilight deepens into darkness, you pull out a flashlight from one of your bags. You decide to venture outside, the light beam cutting through the thickening shadows, illuminating the path towards the small pond you used to love. The air turns cooler, and the sound of frogs croaking and crickets chirping fills your ears, creating an orchestra of nature's night. Yet, something feels off. Each step you take seems to echo in an unsettling way, as if the woods are holding their breath, waiting for you to disturb the silence. Reaching the pond, you aim your flashlight over the surface. The water is still, reflecting the star-speckled sky, a mirror to a forgotten world. You kneel at the edge, your fingers grazing the soft mud. That's when you spot something half buried in the silt. Curiosity piqued, you reach into the water, tugging at the object until it comes free. It feels slimy and cool against your skin. You lift it into the light and discover it's an old, rusted pocket watch, its glass face cracked and grimy. A sense of unease settles into your stomach, an awareness that this watch has been here for far longer than you've had any knowledge of. Something about it feels wrong, a tether to another time, perhaps one that should have remained forgotten. You tuck it into your pocket, your heart drumming in your chest. As you make your way back to the cabin, the trees seem to whisper secrets to each other, their branches swaying gently, as if caught in some shared understanding of what lies beneath the surface of this remote place. Once inside, you sit by the window, the light of your flashlight illuminating the time-worn fabric of the couch. You pull out the watch, examining it under the beam. The hands have stopped at midnight, a frozen moment in time that feels oddly significant. There's no clue to whom it might have belonged. You glance out at the woods, the darkness now wrapping around the cabin like a heavy cloak, and suddenly, the air feels thicker, the silence more oppressive. You remind yourself it's just your imagination, a trick of an overactive mind. The first night stretches on. You attempt to read, the book's pages feeling foreign in your hands, your thoughts instead returning to the mysterious watch. Each tick in your mind amplifies the silence around you, echoing against the stillness of the woods. Eventually, the weight of exhaustion overwhelms you, and you drift into an uneasy sleep, the shadows in your dreams swirling with fears half-formed. When morning breaks, it's as if the world has been scrubbed clean. Light spills through the windows, washing away the unsettling remnants of the night before. You shake off the lingering dread, determined to enjoy your time alone. The day stretches out before you, and you decide to hike the familiar trails, focusing on the bright blues and greens of nature instead of the feelings that cling to your thoughts. As you traverse the path, the The sounds of the forest wrap around you, alive and vibrant. You climb hills and dip down into hidden valleys, every step reinforcing your connection to the raw beauty of the wilderness. But something remains in the corner of your mind. The watch, a ghost of a distraction. Although you've hidden it at the back of your mind, you can't help but wonder if it has consolidated a secret that has lingered just out of reach. Late in the afternoon, you return to the cabin, your clothes damp with sweat and your legs aching from the effort. But as you step inside, a disquieting sense of wrongness floods through you again. The atmosphere has shifted subtly. The air feels charged, as if it has absorbed a profound tension. You glance around the living room, half expecting to see something amiss. Nothing seems out of place, yet your instincts scream. A cold breeze whispers through the cracks in the old windows, sending a shiver down your spine. You shake your head, trying to clear your thoughts, convincing yourself that you've simply worn yourself out. You decide to prepare a simple meal, focusing on the repetitive motions of chopping vegetables. At the moment when you slice through a tomato, the sound of the knife against the cutting board is suddenly replaced by a rustling from outside. The noise pulls you from your thoughts. You glance towards the window, but see nothing. Just the trees, stoic and indifferent. After dinner, the sun begins its slow descent behind the horizon, and oh how swiftly twilight brushes over the world again. The idea of facing a second night in this cabin begins to gnaw at the edges of your resolve. You choose to shake it off, reminding yourself to lean into the joy of solitude, sparking a small fire in the fireplace. As flames flicker and dance, their warmth pulling you into a sense of calm, you resolve to stay up as late as possible. But very soon, unease creeps back in. The cuddling shadows twist in the corners of the room as the firelight struggles against their reach. You wonder why you felt so restful just hours ago. You glimpse the watch on the table, its surface still glistening in the orange light. It stands out starkly as if it has regained a presence, an almost living thing that demands your attention. Rubbing your temples, you rise from the couch and grab it, turning it over in your hands once more. The surface is slick, the metal smooth against your palm now, 1,000 yesterdays crawling just beneath its skin. You feel drawn to it, but a small voice asks you to put it down. A sudden noise makes you freeze, soft, almost inaudible, the faintest of whispers carried by the wind. You set the watch down gently, your breath quickening. The whispers seem to grow louder, more distinct, rising over the crackling of the fire. You approach the window, peering into the blackness beyond the glass. The forest stands still, as if it senses your apprehension. No gentle flutter of leaves, no rustling of animals, just a heavy silence that lays thick over the world outside. Just as you decide to retreat again, there's a flash of movement. You catch sight of a figure, fleeting, weaving through the trees beyond your yard. Your heart races. It's too dark to discern any details, but instinct urges you to go outside. Hubris dances with adrenaline, and you throw on your jacket, gripping the flashlight tightly as you step out into the darkness. The chill bites through your thin layers, and the whispering returns, more urgent now. You scan the area with your flashlight, light cutting through the night, searching for movement. At first, you see nothing, and doubt creeps back in. Was it just your imagination? Then again, you catch something lurking between the trees, but when you aim the light there, it disappears. The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. You feel drawn off the path that leads back to your cabin. It's almost magnetic how that mystery tugs at your heart, fueling your curiosity. You venture deeper into the woods, unsure of what you are trying to find. The whispers have morphed into soft sounds, almost like laughter, dancing on the edges of comprehension, but never quite forming full words. Your breath quickens, pulse hammering in your ears. You move further until you find yourself standing in a clearing, bathed in the light of the moon, illuminating an ancient stone well at the center. The sight sends a shiver up your spine, and for a moment, your instincts scream to turn back, but you find yourself stepping closer against your better judgment. Your flashlight flickers, the beam struggling to hold steady, adding a strobe-like quality to the pervasive shadows surrounding you. Peering down into the well, the darkness seems to stretch infinitely. The urge to call out, to hear the echoes return, overpowers your reasoning. You clear your throat, but just as you open your mouth, the sound of laughter rings out from behind you, echoing in the clasp of the trees. You whirl around, adrenaline flooding your veins, but there is nothing. Perhaps it was just the wind, yet it feels real. The energy of the clearing pulses, a heartbeat of the woods that reverberates through your very being. In its depths, you can feel a singularity, the pull of untold secrets beneath the surface. The watch still nestled in your pocket, a clock tethered to something deeper. The oppressive weight of fear settles upon you once more, but you can't seem to break away from this strange desire. As you kneel at the rim of the well, an overwhelming sensation of being watched washes over you. The very shadows themselves stretch towards you, growing closer. You clutch the watch instinctively, and even as you feel the cold metal, warmth radiates at its center, a pulse synchronized with your own heartbeat, louder now, echoing in your skull. Suddenly, focus shifts. The laughter that had seemed distant now rings clear, swirling like leaves caught in a gale, and you realize it's not distant at all. You stagger back, flashing your light around. The trees seem alive, branches creaking, shadows elongating unnaturally as if reaching for you, urging you to step forward again. The whispers meld into a chorus. A feeling swells within you, a recognition of what lies hidden beneath the soil, what has been waiting all this time, watching, wanting. As fear grips you, you turn to run. The sheer energy in the air feels wrong now, heavy and suffocating. You dodge through the trees, branches clawing at your clothes, an unseen presence pursuing you through the dark. The laughter echoes behind you, a maddening cackle that drives you on. You burst from the woods, emerging back at the cabin, your heart racing. You crash through the door, slamming it behind you, breathless and panicked. The cabin is quiet, too quiet. You stumble backward, overwhelmed, leaning against the closed door for support, but the tension coils tightly in your chest. That laughter doesn't dissipate. It reverberates in your mind, a teasing echo that leaves no room for calm. The flashlight flickers in your hand, sputtering weakly. You rush to find matches, igniting the fire in the fireplace with shaking hands, casting flickering shadows around the room. Yet, the whispers tease at the edges of your sanity still, merging with thoughts of that accursed watch. The transient fear makes a home in you, even as the comforting crackle of the fire insists it will warm you. Then a soft knock reverberates against the door, pull in you from your spiral. Your heart nearly stops, drowning in mounting dread. It was too soft, too human, but deep within, something lurks. An awareness of the otherness threading its way through the fabric of reality you once thought reliable. You approach the door, each step betraying a heavy mistress of reason, fighting to keep you grounded. Your muttering thoughts drown out the echoes, but you can feel their weight on the threshold. Should you open it? Should you turn away? Your fingers tremble on the handle, primal instinct whispering against your resolve. This cabin was supposed to be a retreat, a sanctuary from the world, but every shadow now feels pregnant with malice, and that laughter spirals into something sinister once more. You force yourself to breathe, steadying against the door. As you pull it open slowly, a gust of wind rushes past, and the air outside shimmers with an otherworldly glow. The darkness enfolds you, familiar and foreign all at once, but there's nothing to greet you, just an apparent emptiness that makes your heart falter. Deep inside, cold panic settles as that laughter transforms into a haunting song, a chilling lullaby enveloping you, becoming a part of the air you're breathing. The reflections of your innermost thoughts play out like the warped shadows drowning in the fireside light. Something is hidden just beneath the surface, straining to control your heart once more. You back away from the doorway, heart thrumming against your ribcage, yet the whispers and laughter call you deeper, an affirmation of the unwelcome history pressing against your psyche. Perhaps it lies there too, a secret tether that binds you to this strange place where the past calls out for recognition. You pivot and dart back inside, slamming the door shut, knowing you cannot return to the safety of the past. But can you stay here, in the terrible present? The fire whines against the crackle of your racing heart, shadows reaching, stretching against the walls. The watch weighs heavy in your pocket, and those eyes you felt upon you now peer into the space where reason has twisted dread. Face flush with panic, the whispers surge like a tide, and somewhere in the backdrop, laughter rings out again, thickening the air, pressing upon your chest. You clutch the pocket watch tighter, its coldness digs deeper, a conduit to the unknown. Are you alone? The very essence of the woods seems to mock your isolation, inviting you to recognize what once was, and perhaps what lingered beyond. Your breath becomes labored, drawing toward the uncertain boundary of the outside world, where laughter echoes and shadows swirl, and you can only grasp for certainty among the unraveling of your mind. Who watches you from within the depths of those trees? Who whispers your name in the chill of the night? You squeeze your eyes shut, surrendering to the tumultuous riddles spinning around you. The boundaries surrounding you not quite preserved, but rather bent, adjusting, leaving you to teeter on the precipice of something ancient. The secrets of the forest, of this cabin, and the grasp of time itself. You whisper a resolve, a question to the darkness, and listen intently, hoping for an answer that may never arrive. But you know, beneath that weight of unknowing, the reality spirals on, fading into the muted entanglements of the unknown, where the search for clarity remains forever hidden, lurking just beyond reach, waiting.